Babe, do you have a boyfriend? Did you know that having a boyfriend is embarrassing now? But wait, why is that? Let's talk about it. Warning, listening to us
might radicalize you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Unholy Feminists with me, Kath, and Gail. Hello.
Hi, Kat. How you doing? How was your trip to Japan with your mom?
It was good. It was good. I really liked it. I think Japan was nice. I loved the weather. I think we went there at a good time. It was cold, but it wasn't too cold. It was about 11 to 14 degrees every day. It was raining a little bit, but not that much. But yeah, it was nice. And I enjoyed going to all the castles, all the temples. Although, honestly, by the end of the ninth day, I was getting a little bit tired of having sushi and ramen almost every day. And I was like, I need to come home to my dogs and my cats. But yeah, it was nice. I'm glad I went there. I'm glad I got to go there with my mom. And I think she had fun too.
That sounds nice. I'm glad you had an amazing time. I cannot wait to go on a vacation internationally because I don't know, I feel like trying to leave the country in Africa is such a hurdle because currently I feel like the cheapest place to go to from Ghana is actually Dubai, and we are boycotting Dubai, so you will not
Yep.
find me there. You will not find me there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you had an amazing time.
Yeah, I mean, if you care about Sudan, you boycott
Yes.
Dubai.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
beautiful
Oh my
on
God.
the surface, but very ugly behind all the glitter. Don't go to Dubai.
Yeah, everything that's been happening in Sudan, it is atrocious. It's still happening, and it really frustrates me that people are not talking about it enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It feels like it pops up in the news every few days and then that's about it. But it needs to be talked about more than that. So many people are suffering, so many people are dying. It's why, honestly, talking about having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Committing a genocide is embarrassing.
Yes.
As a world leader, as a whatever type of leader you are, why are you committing a genocide? It's so embarrassing. Why are you doing that?
I don't think we shame people from those countries enough, honestly, because we really should. They should be embarrassed that they are even, and you go on social media and people are sharing content about them vacationing in Dubai, and you see, the wives of the oil tycoons posting, of course, elitist and classist content of them having about 10 or 20 nannies for two kids. And I'm like, oh, on someone's blood. Because when you see the videos from Sudan,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
difficult to reconcile with the reality of people living in Dubai. It's so dystopian, actually. Like the way the world is right now. It feels like we are in a movie.
It feels like we're in one of the worst timelines. It's kind of like in the Philippines as well. So the Philippines is going through a typhoon. There's a lot of flooding. Hundreds of people have died, and while the wealthy people are just out there buying designer stuff, not caring about the people, not caring
Yeah.
about underprivileged people who are suffering, who are basically being given on the receiving end of this climate catastrophe where they would just go and buy Gucci, buy whatever designer, the latest designer brand, spending all that money instead of spending money, the government, instead of spending money to help their own people. So yeah, worst timeline. One of the worst timelines, I would say. Anyway, Yeah, not the funnest thing, not the funnest opening that we have. But then we're also not living in a very fun time right now. Okay, so back to our topic. There was a Vogue article that came out. It went pretty viral. When did it come out? I think it came out October 29th. So a little less than a month ago. And the article is called Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now? Have you seen it, Gail?
I have. There was so much action on it. I think I actually saw it from the writer's point of view because I came across her TikTok, which went viral. I was like, oh, interesting. And then I went to take a look at the article. Honestly, she had valid points, and it's also, I think, I realized that a lot of people were just focusing on the title of the article instead of actually taking a read at the article, and also to find out that she even interviewed other women who had boyfriends or who used to have boyfriends. I think if you read it, you get the bigger picture instead of just focusing on the title. But yeah, I agree. Having a boyfriend can be embarrassing, and so I guess we are going to get into it more as we go. But my point is, as a woman, especially if you're a feminist, aligning yourself with even having a male friend can be embarrassing. So I saw this post on TikTok where she wrote, when I think I found the love of my life, but he's someone's rapist and abuser. That's so, just imagine. And in the comment section, there were so many other women making up scenarios like that. When I think my dad is the best dad, but when he was a teenager, he abused someone, got them pregnant, and denied the pregnancy. And so, just as a woman, as a feminist, being associated with a man in general, I'm sorry, it can be embarrassing. So let's not sit here and act like the writer was reaching or anything like that. It's like, have we seen the state of the world when it comes to how men treat women? How a lot of men treat women? Like, please, cut.
I
As
mean, there's a male loneliness epidemic happening for a reason because women are finally holding cisgender men accountable, cis heterosexual men accountable for their actions. So a little bit about the article. Basically, the writer, Shantae Joseph, she was talking about the whole boyfriend land, what some substackers call boyfriend land, a world where women's online identities centered around the lives of their partners, a situation rarely seen reversed. So talking about how some female content creators, they would create content exclusively about being in a relationship. Their entire identity is about having a boyfriend. And now there's a shift where people are not fully hot launching their romantic partners anymore, where straight women are opting for subtle signs like a hand on a steering wheel, clinking glasses at dinner, or the back of someone's head. I mean, basically the opposite of what Taylor Swift did during her press tour for the life of a showgirl, where she was talking about Travis Kelce all the time, just showing off her engagement ring. So the opposite of that, more like not hard launching your boyfriend anymore.
Yeah.
So Shantae, she was asking, are people embarrassed by their boyfriends now? Talking about all of that, about how to her it feels like women is the result of women wanting to straddle two worlds where they can receive the social benefits of having a partner but also not appear so boyfriend obsessed. The article went on to talk about there's an overwhelming sense from single and partnered women alike that being with a man was almost a guilty thing to do. And this is something that I have heard from a fellow feminist when I went to a conference, where she said that she felt like she was betraying other feminists by having a boyfriend. And that was said years ago, I think about 7, 8 years ago, where she already felt like that. And I kind of understand, because it feels like, why are you aligning yourself with a guy, right? So it went on to talking about how audiences are icked out by seeing too much boyfriend content. And then talking about this content creator called Sophie Milner experiencing people unfollowing her when she shared a romantic relationship. So she's talking about how the script is changing, and there's one line that I really love. She said, "From my conversations, one thing is certain: the script is shifting. Being partnered doesn't affirm your womanhood anymore. It is no longer considered an achievement. And, if anything, it's become more of a flex to pronounce yourself single. As straight women, we're confronting something that every other sexuality has had to contend with: a politicization of our identity. Heterosexuality has long been purposefully indefinable, so it is harder for those within it and outside of it to critique. However, as our traditional roles begin to crumble, maybe we're being forced to reevaluate our blind allegiance to heterosexuality." I'm gonna end by pointing out one more thing, where she was talking about spinsterhood, about how before, not having a boyfriend, not being partnered, is the worst thing that a woman can be, right? You are a spinster. Why are you this age and you're not with anyone? That is so, that is a shame on you. But then now, being single, being called a spinster, is no longer something that is an insult. It's something that a lot of women pride ourselves over. It's about, when you hear a woman being single, you think about a woman being independent, you think about a woman having fun, about her having freedom, about her having financial independence. So it's not associated with a lot of things, rather than associated with loneliness, having 50 cats, for example. All right, rant over. What do you think?
Again, I think it was a beautiful article, like I mentioned, because it really reflects reality. Even though I've seen a lot of other women make other posts, other TikToks, and in her comments talking about how that's not true, and they don't feel I don't care that you are not embarrassed by your boyfriend. We are saying that generally a lot of women do not care anymore if they are single. I've been single for years. You were single for years. Oh, hello, girlfriend. Hello, girlfriend. I'm going to have a question for you very soon, since you've joined the association. But yeah, we were both single for a really long time, and there definitely is a freedom and a certain level of independence that comes with. That's not to say that when you are in a relationship you lose your individuality or your independence. No. But when you're in a relationship, automatically when you are making decisions, you need to think about the other person. You need to think about your partner. You need to think about how the decisions you are taking, how the choices you are making will affect your partner, will affect the relationship that you are building. So, like, I'm sorry, this whole conversation about, oh, you can still be your own person. I'm not saying you can't be your own person, but let's be very honest. And yeah, I love that women are reclaiming spinster. How many times do we been hear the word spinster anymore? I mean, in this current climate, I don't remember the last time I heard someone say that. Like someone in our age group say that. It's just, I'm single, and then that's it. You're just moving on. So I think it's a beautiful article, and people again did not read to understand. And I remember pointing out that male loneliness epidemic, and it's just women who have been socialized through feminism for years and decades to know that their worth should not be attached to a man. Male loneliness epidemic. And it's just women realizing that I can be my own person. I can be happy. I do not have to settle for a mediocre man just because society thinks that I'm someone because I'm with a man. No. So valid, solid points. I fuck with all of them. But as a newly ordained girlfriend, how does it feel being a girlfriend? How does it feel having a boyfriend?
So I don't know. I still want to break out in hives thinking about that. It's very new.
Oh my god!
Okay, to be perfectly honest with you, I still haven't fully grappled with that because I was single for so long. I was single for 6 years, and I don't know. I'm not gonna heart launch him. I don't think I'm gonna heart launch him anytime soon. And
Understandable.
it's not that I'm ashamed of him or anything like that. It's just that I don't want to attach I don't want to attach my identity with his. And two, I feel like I don't know, there's something about I have seen women heart launching their partner only for their partner to embarrass them literally sometimes the day after. Like that content creator Liz something, she heart launched her husband, her boyfriend. Yeah, and then he immediately went to cheat on her. So I mean, not to say, okay, as you can see, I'm trying to process this in real time. Not to say that I don't trust him or anything. I don't trust that he's gonna embarrass me or anything like that. But then at the end of the day, he's still a guy, you know? Who knows? So, but it's very new. It's not even a month yet. I'm still trying to grapple. I'm still trying to process everything. I don't even like the label boyfriend because it feels, I don't know. I prefer partner in a way because it feels more equal to me. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of insights on this because I am still kind of like I'm
Getting
in
used
a
to.
relationship with a man. Ew.
Oh
I hope
my
he's not
god!
listening to this.
The disclaimer at the end.
Yeah.
But I perfectly understand. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, look at me just before our call, just before recording this. Look at how I was spiraling because I might like a man. It's so because so even in the article, one of the people Shante interviewed made the statement that it doesn't matter if you've even been together for 12 years, a man can still make you look lame as a woman. Like men have been with their wives for like decades and then they are still going around doing embarrassing things. But even just putting that aside again, it's just the fact that now we are living in a world where women have a say in whether they want to be partnered up or not. And we are living in a world where you as a woman do not have to be with a man in order to achieve certain things. Unlike how things were decades ago. For example, women could not create bank accounts.
Or own property.
Exactly. So a lot of them attach themselves to men so that they can have those things by extension of their partners. It's not the same thing anymore. I think we have a lot more liberties now and I love the way we are using it. And also in the article there was a sentence that was like, boyfriends are so out of style and they are not going to come back in style until men start acting right. And I feel like that's one of the most important parts of the article, that a lot of women who just jump to defending oh, my boyfriend is this, oh, my boyfriend is that. Well, good for you. Good luck with him. I think that was a part that a lot of them missed, because male loneliness epidemic once again, but it's a lot of women realizing that some of the characteristics a lot of men in the dating scene exhibit when they are looking to date, when they are looking to get to know other people, are very harmful. They are violent, they are predatory, and they just do not want to have to deal with that. And so they just be like, yeah, you know what, i I would rather be single. And personally, I would rather be single, like mad. This is such an African thing, but yeah, I would rather be single, like mad, than be with a man who, one, does not probably believe in the same things I do. Two, a man who is looking to control what I do with my life. Three, a man I'm probably going to be financially dependent on. Yeah, no, counts me out. So yeah, until men start again moving away from incel culture and red pill content, they are embarrassing. I'm sorry. As boyfriends, why are you dating an incel? Why are you with a red pill man? Ew.
The thing is, the article talks about the problem with men systematically, right? The systemic problem with men in general, with red pilled men, with incels, with how men are not taking accountability for their actions, how men are being complicit, how men are not acting right, while women who are partnered would, oh, there you go. Even my phone is like, no. So while women who come on and say that, no, my partner is not like that, that is one singular case, right? Just because your partner is a good man, it does not negate the fact that a lot of men are doing all these problematic things. A lot of men are not acting right. A lot of men are not treating women like people, like actual human beings, the same as them. It does not negate the fact that the most dangerous place for a woman to be is her house. It does not negate the fact that the leading cause of death for men is a heart attack, but the leading cause for death for women is men.
Yeah.
It does not negate any of that fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, should women just stop being in heterosexual relationships?
No. Simple answer, no. And I don't like those discourse. I don't like that kind of discourse, because I know, like, between the two of us, sometimes we do it's so embarrassing to be sexually attracted to men and like all that. But it's not, our sexuality is not something we can change, basically. Our sexuality is not something we can change. It's not as if we can just wake up and be like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to be attracted to men anymore. I will not. And there's even a difference between being celibate. So you can choose to be celibate because you don't want to interact with men in that way anymore. And first, like, I respect that, I understand that, but I don't think heterosexual women can actually stop being attracted to men. How does that even work? So it's, for me, it's just discourse I do not like to engage in, because I don't know, am I a heterosexual woman? I mean, I like men most of the time, so I don't think I would want to change that, honestly, because I get a lot of gratification sexually. And sometimes when you meet a man who is sensible enough emotionally from men, so I don't think I want to stop. Personally, I don't think I want to stop being a heterosexual woman. I get that it comes with, like, having to deal with subpar and mediocre men and having to grapple with all that. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think the solution here is for women to deny our sexuality.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, for example, I know that in some places, there are women who are resisting the 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 soldiers, or who are resisting men by denying them sex in exchange for them not committing violence. I know that there are women, or in some communities, who have done that successfully. But the thing is, I don't think that women should deny ourselves our sexuality in this case. However, I think that one important thing, which is the next point in what I want to talk about, is for women to decenter men in our relationship and in our lives. Because the key here, for me personally, it's not about avoiding relationships with men altogether, but it's about decentering men when you're in a relationship. And we have talked about decentering men before, but essentially, decentering men in a relationship is about when you start when you're in a relationship, you stop thinking about what your male partner would want you to do, right? You stop thinking about, oh, would he want me to dress this way? Or would he want me to look like this? I am cutting my hair a certain way to please him. Or if you're online, then you make your entire identity about having a partner.
Oh,
You Exactly, by posting a lot of. I understand posting images about your partner is fine, but if you make your entire identity, if you make your entire online presence about having a male partner, if you're like, I am I'm a worthy person because he chose me, rather than I'm a worthy person because I am a worthy person. That kind of things, it's a kind of toxic things by centering men. It's a type of toxic things that makes having a boyfriend embarrassing,
soon.
because when you are centering men in your life, when you're centering men in your relationship, when he does something, if when he does something to embarrass you, then your entire identity, it crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. So, probably a bit off topic, but even even outside relationships, sometimes when you have male friends who are really close to you, you need to decenter those male friends. You need to. When you are decentering men in general, it's not even just about the men you are romantically or sexually involved with. It's men in general. Because, like Kat mentioned, when you are able to do that, if and when they do something embarrassing, like, you do acknowledge that they've done this thing. However, it's not a reflection of the kind of person you are. But when you internalize everything the man does, and your whole essence, your whole life is you living to please this male figure in your life, then I'm sorry, you might be in for a very rude awakening, to be honest. So yeah, it's very important. And when you are decentering men, we are talking about decentering rich men as well, because there's currently something going on Nigerian Twitter. So there's this very wealthy tech bro who has they went through his past tweets, and there's a lot of pedophilic tweets. There's bestiality. There are tweets of him saying he anally does things with his cats.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my
There,
god.
there are tweets of him saying things like, I hope something along the lines of, I hope I don't have a daughter or something, because the way I just looked at this young girl just because she had boobs. There are tweets of him making statements like, I heard sleeping with a minor can cure your HIV. So if you are HIV positive, you should look for a minor. There are tweets of him saying things like, "Oh, this is my neighbor's daughter." It's and cat. It gets worse. There are so many terrible things, and these are tweets he made when he was in his mid to late 20s. He's in his late 30s
Oh
now.
God.
These are tweets from 2011, 2012. He was an adult who knew better. So these tweets are out. Unfortunately, this is a man who cosplayed as queer. A lot of people actually thought he was queer because he would have on nail polish. He would sport makeup sometimes. He liked wearing, like, clothing that in Africa is usually associated with women wearing. So a lot of people assume that he's a queer man. He's also been in a polycule with two. I'm sorry if I this part is a bit confusing. Some people say the two women in the polycule were lesbians. Some also say they were bisexuals. I do not want to misgender them or anything, so I'm not going to say what they are. But he has been in a polycule with queer people, so people obviously automatically assume that he was queer. Now it comes out he is allegedly homophobic. He abuses his co-workers. He has tweets saying that he keeps audio recorder in his washroom so that he can hear when his friends come around and they're peeing. He likes listening to that.
Oh God.
Yeah, and this is a man who is friends with some of the feminist voices in the Nigerian Twitter space. Some of the most popular feminist voices in the Nigerian Twitter space. And now this whole conversation has shifted to blaming the women who are his close friends. People are blaming these feminists that they should have seen the signs. So you need to decenter men as a woman in all your life, because men can embarrass you. And now these feminists are now, one of them came out with a statement trying to, that she did not know this, she did not know this is how this person is, and they weren't friends back then, and she abhors the tweets and the behavior. And cat, this is a man who, I mean, back then he was still building his career and he was making those statements. I heard his net worth is about $100 million or something currently. So just imagine, with his wealth, imagine what he has access to currently and the things he probably does. Because if
Yeah.
people are coming out saying that, oh, maybe it was just dark humor, it was just jokes, and others are saying if it really was just jokes, he probably would have realized when he became a public figure that, oh, I need to go and delete these tweets. So yeah,
I feel like
you go.
especially right now with the whole Jeffrey Epstein, the emails being released, Trump's being involved and all of that. I feel like there are so many more pedophiles than we thought.
Yes.
Because I thought that being a pedophile was a rare thing, right? It was pretty uncommon. Turns out a lot of men are pedophiles, apparently. And what's even crazier is I was watching To Catch a Predator a while back, and back then, being a predator, being caught as a predator, was such a huge thing. It was such a career-ending thing. Whereas now, it feels like another Friday, like, oh, he's a pedophile? Sure, he's gonna run for office. That's fine. Let's vote for him, right? So yeah, what timeline are we in right now? Because this is not it. I do want to get into what you were talking about a little bit as well, in terms of the women involved, and women who are being told that you should have known, you should have seen the signs. I think that there is a slippery slope when we talk about having a boyfriend or having a male in your life is embarrassing and you shouldn't heart launch him or you shouldn't post about him because he can embarrass you, all of that. I want us to be cautious and not fall into victim
Blaming,
blaming,
exactly.
right? I don't want us to fall into the whole idea that, oh, her boyfriend is a cheater. It's her fault for not choosing better. It's her fault for not seeing that, oh, her boyfriend is a pedophile. Her husband is a pedophile. It is her fault for choosing that man. And therefore, we should embarrass her. It's not supposed to be like that. We shouldn't tear women down for not being able to see through a man's mask, right? We shouldn't tear women down because in many cases, in most cases, they were also deceived by these men.
Yes,
So
exactly.
let's not fall into victim blaming culture. Just because a man does something embarrassing, it does not mean that the woman is at fault for his embarrassing act.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do see a lot of the feminists are coming together and making the same statements as you are, but there's also the other side who are like, oh, apparently there were allegations. Some people claim there were already rumors as to the kind of person this man was. So there's no way they did not hear of those rumors or those allegations, and they still went ahead to you know be as close as they are with him, and so there's still the ongoing victim blaming. But I think, just like you said, when we think about having a man in your life as embarrassing, for me, the embarrassing is I'm embarrassed that you this is what you have to deal with, but I'm not blaming you that you are dealing with it. I'm sorry that you have to deal with it. It's just the idea and the concept that a man who does all those things, that's what's embarrassing. But you as a woman, babe, you've done nothing wrong. I'm here for all women's wrongs and rights, okay?
I do feel like the whole shitting on men and thinking that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, I think it creates a sense of sisterhood in a way for me. It creates a sense of solidarity
Yeah.
because then we can commiserate together by, being heterosexual women having to date heterosexual men and having to go through the cesspool, having to deal with all of that. It creates a sense of unity like, hey, you know what? We're all going through this together. And being single, it's okay because we understand, we gotcha. I do like that sense of camaraderie.
I love it. I love it
Yeah.
too.
All right. Any last words to add on this topic?
Not really. Just, I mean, even though we are having these conversations, there's no shame in loving. There's no shame in wanting to feel love. There's no shame in being vulnerable to someone. Oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. I did not mean to, but
It was perfectly said.
there's no shame in that. You just it's okay. I think it's absolutely normal to want to, but once again, you just need to make sure you are the central men in your life, so that even when you are getting all these things from a man, you don't feel like your whole world revolves around whatever affection or whatever it is at all that they provide to you. You acknowledge that it's only an add-on. That does not define your worth. It does not define the type of person you are, and it should not take away your individuality. Okay? Kat, any last words?
Perfectly said. I don't think I could add any more to that. But yeah, essentially, it's not your fault if your man is embarrassing. Just cut him loose. And the gentlemen in your life, they are not worth it. I mean, let the male loneliness epidemic continue until men start getting their shit together. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Unholy Feminists. Subscribe to our podcast, and you can listen to our podcast on all your favorite podcast apps, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.